Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANSgear. We got a brand new shotgun up on the table from HDX right here, or from T4E, I should say. This is the HDX CO2 shotgun. This is a pump action shotgun. It holds 16 rounds in the chamber. It'll shoot rubber ball, powder ball, paintball. So the rubber balls, the inert balls, the regular old paintballs. You could do pepper ball out of this, I'm sure. Seeing as though it shoots the powder ball, it'll shoot the pepper ball. Average velocity is about 250 feet per second. I shot one downstairs earlier with the inert rounds, and it was like 235, 250. It was right around in there. So with paintball, you probably get that 250 mark. Rubber ball might be a little less, but the average velocity is right around that 250 mark. It is a single barrel, so it doesn't have that switchable like the other shotgun from T4E does. And it runs on two 12-gram CO2 cartridges in the stock. And we'll show you how all that works. So let's open it up right here. You're going to see inside of it. So we've got this little parts kit right here. It's got a little squeegee. It's got the manual. It's got like get in touch with us kind of a thing in there. And then we've got the shotgun. Come on out of here. You're also going to get an extra one of these right here. And we'll talk about what this is for. There's one that will be in your bag of parts right here. And there's also one that they've tucked into the bottom down here. And you can grab it and pull it out. And it'll hold right inside of there. And what that is a little ramp to help you load paintballs or rounds or whatever it is easier into the gun. Let's see here. Let's move this out of the way. Kind of make some space here. I'm just going to move this off to the side, and then we can look at this thing a little bit closer. All right. So we've got some tactical rails. We have some sights on it right here. We've got a ring right here to mount a sling on it, and the front ring up at the top. We've got a cool looking tactical flash hider on the end of it right there. We've got this piece right here, which will thread off. And this will give you access to the spring, which is going to help push the balls up into the breech assembly. We'll get to that in a minute as well. But that's what that little knob is for right there. All right, there we go. We've got our pump slide right here. You can see the breech is open on this side right now. This little rubber thing, or rubber, this orange thing that you see down inside there, that is the follower that is part of this. Well, it's not part, it's pushed on by the spring down inside here. So this, if I take this all the way out, let's just take it out so you can see it. So there's our cap. There's our really long spring right there. And then if I push this, this comes out of here, and this has like a little toggly end to it. It goes in the spring, and this is when you load the paintballs in, boom, 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 boom. This is what pushes those paintballs up and into the breech assembly so that they will fire out. So this is going to go in here, like that. And then our cap goes on the end. And then you can see that pop right back up through there again. Because the shape of the tube this is in comes along flat and then curves up at the last minute right there, the end of that follower needs to be able to articulate so that it can push up into the breech as well. All right. So this is going to slide back and forth. When it's in the forward position like it is right now, it will not open back up until you fire. Now you've got a safety on the side right here. So the safety is on. Now the safety is off, and I can pull the trigger. And that, if we were gassed up, would have then fired a ball. Once the trigger is pulled, you can pull the slide back. This will chamber the next round. push it forward, and it won't open up again. Pull the trigger, opens up, slide it forward, so forth and so forth. All right, so that's how that works. All right, now the back side right here. We take, I'm going to slide this over. We've got a little bit of a little toggle, little switch right here. On a lot of stock setups like that, you would think that this was what gave you the ability or the option to control stock length. On this particular setup right here, this allows you to remove the stock off the end of the gun. So I can remove that and pull it off of there. There are no positions on this. It's just push that, pull it, it's going to come right off. Now, as you can see the back right here, we've got the, this is the tube that is going to hold your 12 grams in it. On the outside of the tube is this tool right here. Now, the couple times I've taken this off, sometimes when I take it off, this tool comes with it and it falls out, or it's down inside there and I got to shake it out or whatever. This is important. This is very helpful in removing the back of the tube to put your 12 grams in. You just kind of rotate it around like that until it lines up and it will slide on. And then you can use this to grab onto to unscrew the cap off the back. If you're going to try to do that by hand, this gives you a little bit more leverage to get that off there. So we can pull that off. So this has a little pin on it right here, which is going to puncture the CO2 cartridge. But up inside here, there's another pin. So when we put these CO2s in, we're going to put one nozzle facing towards the gun, one nozzle facing away from the gun. And then we're going to screw this in. Like so. Then we would hit the back of this. When we hit this, it's going to force the puncture pin into this one and puncture it, but it's also going to force the CO2 cartridges into this pin and puncture that one as well. So it'll puncture both of them, allowing all the gas to come out at once, come down into the gun, and get it ready to go. When I puncture that, boom, like that, there's a little pin right here that will pop up, boop, and that just tells us that the gun is pressurized and ready to shoot right there. I'm not going to do that right now. We'll do it in a video outside. You'll be able to see it, but right here, this will go pop and pop right up. What I do want to do is put some rounds into this. So what I am going to look for is some balls. All right, I've got some inert rounds over there that I can see, which is what I'm going to use just in case they break. It's not going to cause a terrible mess. All right. Well, those aren't normal rounds. These are inert first strike rounds. That doesn't do me any good. All right. So give me 1 second. We're going to find some balls here. All right, poof. Paintballs. Well, these are inert rounds right here, but I went downstairs and got some, put them up on the table. So this will hold 16 inert or powder ball, regular ball, rubber ball, whatever happens to be 68 caliber style. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll move those ones over to the side and we'll kind of show you how this works. Now we talked about that extra piece that was in the bag earlier. I'm going to use the one that's here and I can just pull it down, and with the breech open like that, this has a little flat spot on the end of it right here, and this ramp right here. If we look into the breech down at the bottom down there, you can see that there's like a flat kind of window cut out. It's like an oval, I guess, looking right above that orange piece right there. So this little index tab is going to fit into that window down there at the bottom, and that's going to give us a little ramp to help us push the ball down into the breech here. So we're just going to push that right down in there like that. And it helps funnel the ball into the correct place. So that's in there. I can push that one down in there. You can see that's kind of sitting inside there. And I can push it further down if need be. And put the next one in. Push it down in. Next one. Push it in. So what was that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See, right now at about 11, I'm feeling that tension of the spring inside there, like pushing against as I'm forcing these down in there. But if I use the ramp and I really try to push it against the ramp and push it following that curve, it definitely makes it easier to load them in there. But I can feel it. So my only concern with this would be pushing on paintballs and getting them to push down and push in there at the same time and not break. So don't use a real brittle paintball. Use a good, robust field ball that's got a nice heavy shell to it that you can push in there without worrying about cracking them as you're putting them in. And then from there, we would just rack and shoot, rack and shoot, rack and shoot. We're ready to go. If you needed to get them out of there, you can do the same thing we did earlier. You can unscrew this, pull the spring out, which is what I'm going to do to get them out because I'm not going to shoot them in here. We'll shoot them outside later. But we could take that off and get that out. Now, one thing I guess you could try to do is unscrew this and relieve some of that tension on the spring while you're putting in the balls, and then try to collapse that down, or do it the other way around. Take this off completely, load the balls in, and then try to push the follower and the spring back the other direction. Now, I don't know how hard that would be. I don't know how wobbly that spring is going to get outside of the gun when you're trying to compress it down. That's something we could definitely try. So let's do that. So I'm going to undo this cap. Remember, the spring is under tension inside the cap. So be careful because it's going to want to do that. And you can see how much, with 16 balls in there, this is how much the spring is going to stick. Well, you can't even see it. It's off the camera. Hold on. This is how much the spring is going to want to stick out. This is how much the spring is compressed inside of there. So, I mean, I guess you could kind of force this down on it once you've loaded all the regular paint in there and do that. Maybe that's easier. I don't know. You got to just try it all the ways. But I need to unload this really quick. So I'm going to make sure I don't get that. I'm going to hold on to the spring. That's going to come out of there. Now I can kind of just let the spring release out. Pull out that follower. And then all of those are out of there. Breech is clear. Put my follower back in. Put my spring back in. You can see how much easier that goes in. And then put my cap back on. So that's it. This thing, I'm going to weigh it real quick too, because it's a beast right here. It's got some weight to it. We'll do it with the 12 grams. So you can kind of get, well, you don't really need to do that. We'll put it just all together like this. And then we'll weigh it up. All right. So we're zeros right there. 6 pounds, 12 ounces right there. That's got some heft to it. Yep. Woo, doggy. That's 6'11" and 7/8. So 6 pounds, 12 ounces. That's basically 6 3/4 pounds right there. So that's definitely got some mass to it, some size, but it's fun to shoot. You'll see it in the video. We had a great time with this. It does have that optic on there, that orange like optic through the front. Pretty cool. So I definitely recommend one of these. If you're into that pump action shotgun style, these are awesome. The brand new T4E HDX pump action shotgun. Lots of fun. Check them out on the website. Buy yours today at ANSgear.com.